Hi everyone, I'm Catherine. Today I want to introduce some questions about Customer Guarantees Act. I will explain two questions. The first is who the CGA applies to. The second is the definition of a customer. The Customer Guarantee Act ensures that individuals participating in trade receive guarantees from their product or service. So the CGA basically only applies to a customer. Then I want to introduce the definition of a customer. The definition of customer has three basic aspects. First, the person should buy some goods from suppliers. Then it should be used as personal domestic use. In the last, the purchase process should be considered as a normal purchase, which means they should purchase normal goods and only for normal use.
So what guarantees are given to customers? When supplying goods to a consumer, there are guarantees to transfer of title, delivery within the agreed time period or within a reasonable time, and acceptable quality. What a reasonable consumer would deem acceptable includes being fit for all purposes, acceptable in appearance, free from minor defects, safe and durable. There are also guarantees to fitness for a particular purpose. This means the goods acquired must fit the purpose proposed by the consumer, even if it is not the purpose the good is commonly supplied for. But not when relying on the supplier's skill or judgment, or it is unreasonable to do so. There are guarantees that the goods comply with their description, are able to be repaired by the manufacturer within a reasonable period, and are given express guarantees that provide repair and replacement for faulty products. For services, there are guarantees to reasonable care and skill, fitness for a particular purpose, and a reasonable time of completion. Ane will now discuss what rights consumers have.
If the customer is unsatisfied with the good or service, whether it be faulty or not meeting the requirement that it should have came with, then the customer has the right to get a replacement or repairment. If the customer is not satisfied, then they have the right to get a refund from the supplier they got the good from, according to Section 19 of the CGA. However, if the good was purchased by the customer to be resupplied in trade, used in production or manufacture, or to fix any other good or fixture, then the CGA does not apply. If the good fails to meet its substantial character, that is not matching the description that it came with, unfit for its purpose, made known to the supplier that it can't easily be fixed within a reasonable time, unsafe, and that no reasonable customer would have bought the good had they known of the failure, the customer has the right to get a replacement, repairment, or a refund. As part of the guarantees that a good must be of acceptable quality, according to Section 36 of the CGA, if the supplier informed the customer of the defects that could arise before selling the goods to the customer, or if the customer had used the good outside of its original purpose, the CGA does not apply and the supplier did not breach the CGA. If faulty and has caused damages to the customer and it was foreseeable, then the customer has the right to apply for consequential damages. But as soon as the customer has noticed a defect, then they should act fast because a delay to do so may affect getting remedy. This is under Section 36 of the CGA. If services do not comply with its guarantees and failure cannot be remedied, the customer has the right to require remedy from the supplier. If the supplier refuses to do so or cannot do so within a reasonable time, the customer has the right to get it remedied somewhere else, yet all the reasonable costs will need to be covered by the supplier. If there was a contract between the supplier and the consumer, cancel the contract or claim compensation for the reduction in value of the service below the charge paid. The customer can also obtain damages for any loss of damage to the consumer caused by the failure which was foreseeable. Sarah will now discuss contracting out of the CGA.
Thanks, Ane. I will now discuss the circumstances where it is possible to contract out of the CGA. Contracting out of the Consumer Guarantees Act is possible, but only if the party in trade meets the requirement to do so. It is possible to contract out of the CGA conditions only if a business is providing goods or services to another business, as opposed to selling to consumers for personal use. If entering in sales with another business, it is possible to contract out of the CGA via a written agreement. It is crucial that the agreement of contracting out is in written form, otherwise the CGA still applies. As long as both businesses agree that the terms of the Act are not applicable and the purpose of opting to contract out is reasonable, then the business which is providing the goods or services is no longer accountable to the CGA. Now I'll pass you on to Ane, who will explain the rest of the Act.
Businesses need to comply with all the sections of the Act. If they do not comply with the CGA and act according to their own law, they can get sued upon through penalties. An example of this would be Noah Leeming. Noah Leeming back in 2018 was sued for $200,000 for breaching 8 of the Consumer Guarantees Act sections for misleading customers about their rights under the Consumer Guarantees Act. However, there's mediation where someone comes in acting as a third party at least to find a solution that's if both parties, supplier and consumer, are willing to work together. That's also the case of this breach tribunal and or the district court they can enforce such things as injunctions that will prevent further breach of the CGA. Thank you for watching!